Carla, I would like to ask the Minister for a change in legislation to allow local authorities to use CCTV footage as evidence for prosecution, to prosecute people for illegal dumping, and if you will make a statement on the matter.
Very much indeed. My department published the general scheme of the Circular Economy Bill 2021 on the 15th of June last. It's my intention under the bill to facilitate not only the use of CCTV, but also the use of a broad range of audiovisual recording equipment in order to assist local authorities in their efforts to combat litter and illegal dumping. Drafting of the bill is well advanced, and the final report of the Joint Oireachtas Committee on Environment and Climate Action was published on the 16th of December last. The bill will be published in the first quarter this year and enacted as soon as possible thereafter. A combination on legislation and guidance will help to ensure that the processing of personal data obtained through the use of CCTV and AVR equipment may be carried out by local authorities tasked with enforcing both litter and waste legislation, thus providing an important deterrent in order to protect our environment from the scourge of illegal dumping, while at the same time respecting the privacy rights of citizens. I've seen my own constituency, my own area, Deputy Grealish, I'm sure you've seen it in your own area in Galway City and County, that even in the presence or where there is CCTV cameras available, often the evidence can't be used, prosecutions can't be followed. So it is a real problem, not just in regard to the issue of waste management, but I would imagine in a wide variety of different policing issues. To get the balance right between the rights to privacy and data and how that is used or shared or stored, but I think we can't allow continue where there's flagrant breach of public environment, waste management and other rules, and there's no mechanism for local authorities to enforce that. So the Circular Economy Bill will be our opportunity to address that issue, and I'm confident it'll get the support of this Dáil, and then we have to put it into practice.
Minister, this is the fourth time in the last 2 years that I've raised the issue of illegal dumping here in the Dáil. It continues to be a major scourge on the Irish landscape, and particularly a problem in rural areas. Penalties for those caught in the act of illegal dumping are not strict enough, and we still have the ridiculous situation whereby a person caught on CCTV in the act of illegal dumping cannot be brought to court. It was recently reported that illegal dumping is costing local authorities up to 90 million a year to clean up. This is not factoring in the time and effort put in by Tidy Towns committees, volunteers working in local communities on clean-ups. When I raised this with An Taoiseach last March, he indicated that, in his opinion, privacy rights in relation to CCTV footage of those caught in the act of illegal dumping shouldn't apply, and he would request legislation to be drafted to address this situation. Can you please, Minister, bring this forward? Because, as you stated there, even in your own constituency, 1 kilometre on the outskirts of Galway City, it is absolutely appalling the amount of illegal dumping that has gone on there. It's going on for the last 5 years. So, Minister, this has to be dealt with. It's destroying the rural countryside.
Minister to respond.
I agree with you, and that's why I think this new Circular Economy Bill, which will be published within weeks, as I said, is critical. And I think with it, I understand what we'll be looking to implement is mandatory codes of practice that will ensure that relevant data protection legislation is compiled with and is complied with by any local authority, and that combination of legislation, non-statutory guidance and the use of mandatory codes of practice will ensure that the processing of personal data can be carried out by local authorities tasked with enforcing litter and waste law and compliance with GDPR, and will address concerns previously raised by the Data Protection Commissioner. And that then gives us the opportunity to unlock the enforcement mechanism that I think we all agree is needed.
Minister, on 2 separate occasions I have asked that a task force be put in place consisting of An Garda Síochána, departmental officials and local authorities to deal with this situation. They must be given real powers, including the power to use CCTV footage and the power to seize a vehicle and equipment involved in illegal dumping, with severe penalties imposed for those caught in the act for the release of their vehicles. Once again, I am asking for a commitment to tackling this problem, that a task force be established as a matter of urgency. The only way to adequately tackle the problem is to hit them where it hurts. Use CCTV footage, seize vehicles used for illegal dumping and have substantial fines paid before the vehicles can be released.
Minister to conclude.
Yeah, no, just to conclude, I think that is what we need, and we've been hindered. The guards and local authorities have been hindered before for the lack of legislation that gave real clarity on that data protection, privacy protection, and at the same time allowing enforcement. And that, as I said, is why I think both this combination of legislation and codes of practice we're going to introduce will be able to resolve that problem.
Now moving on to the